Hello and welcome. The Union Home Minister Amit Shah is laying the foundation stone of the RBI Bhavan in the national capital. Let's go cross live.
Administration बोर्ड ऑफ में बागवानी हॉर्टिकल्चर का कॉलेज, एक स्पोर्ट्स स्टेडियम, हाथों में 200 बेड का एक बहुत अद्यतन सिविल अस्पताल, जीएनएम ट्रेनिंग स्कूल और हाथों सिविल अस्पताल के परिसर के अंदर ही रेसिडेंशियल स्टूडेंट्स हॉस्टल बनाना, बीमा हसाओं में एक मॉडल आवासीय स्कूल बनाना, ढेर सारे का मिडिल क्लास लोग भी ये सारा काम इसलिए हो पाया है कि केंद्र की नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार और हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी स्वयं ये मानते हैं कि जहां जहां जनजातियां रहती है, जनजाति को विकास तक नहीं ले जाना है, विकास के कामों को जनजाति तक ले जाने का काम ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की है। और एयरपोर्ट का ही नतीजा है कि आज दोनों भवन यहाँ पर बनने जा रहे हैं। आज जिसका शिलान्यास हुआ है, बहुत जल्द यहाँ दोनों भवन दिखाई पड़ेंगे और इसके उपयोग के माध्यम से ये दोनों क्षेत्र के लोगों को दुनिया के साथ, भारत के साथ जोड़ने का एक बहुत बड़ा काम ये नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार की ओर से समाप्त। साथ में ही आत्मा भवन भी बनने वाला है। हो सकता है कभी आपको कार्बी भवन में, दिमासा भवन में जगह न मिले तो सर्वानंद जी आपको आसाम भवन के अंदर भी महन होकर जगा देंगे। इस प्रकार की व्यवस्था तीनों भवन लाइन एक लाइन में बनाए जाते हैं। मित्रों, मैं अंत में इतना ही कहना चाहता हूँ कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट का सर्वांगीण विकास, शांति भी होनी चाहिए, समृद्धि भी होनी चाहिए, विकास हर गांव में पहुंचना चाहिए और नॉर्थ ईस्ट की पहचान को भी बनाने रखना ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार का लक्ष्य है, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री का लक्ष्य है। और आज मैं बहुत हृदय से स्वागत करता हूँ कि दोनों जिलों के जो कार्बी आंदोलन और बीमा हसाओं से जो लोग इतनी दूर से चलकर आज यहाँ पर आए हैं, मैं आप सभी का मन से दिल्ली में स्वागत करता हूँ और आशा करता हूँ कि मोदी की विकास यात्रा में ये दोनों क्षेत्र छोड़कर एक मजबूत भारत के, मजबूत आसाम के निर्माण के अंदर हम लग जाएंगे। फिर से दोनों क्षेत्र के लोगों को ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं लेकर मेरी बात समाप्त करता हूँ। भारत माता की जय, वंदे मातरम।
The Union Home Minister Amit Shah has just laid the foundation stone of the RBI Bhavan in Dwarka in the national capital, and the minister was saying that the development of the northeast is in fact the main development that the country will see, and its identity must be maintained, and that is also the determination of the government. Work will continue in that direction. Well, that's the news that's taking place at this moment. Let's also get to the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Restrictions being phased out gradually in Jammu and Kashmir. The primary schools reopen in Srinagar. Government says the efforts are on to restore the landline communication fully. Heavy rains and landslides disrupt normal life in many parts of the country, including Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Punjab. At least 17 killed in Uttarakhand and 24 killed in Himachal Pradesh. Rescue and relief work on in full swing. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu addresses the India-Lithuania Business Forum meeting, says India's growing market offers immense business opportunities and is the fastest growing major economy in the world. Supreme Court grants 2 more weeks to the CBI to complete the investigation into the road accident of the Unnao gang victim and his lawyer. Supreme Court also directs Uttar Pradesh government to pay 5 lakh rupees interim compensation to the lawyer for medical expenses. And the Islamic State claims responsibility for the Kabul wedding suicide blast in which at least 63 people were killed and over 180 others injured. India strongly condemns the horrific bombing and calls for the perpetrators of the terror attack to be brought to justice expeditiously. Our top story, the restrictions are being phased out gradually in Jammu and Kashmir. Over 190 primary schools have reopened in Srinagar this morning, while in the Jammu region, all the schools are functioning normal amidst peaceful environment. Meanwhile, restrictions have also been relaxed in 35 police station areas of Kashmir, while 17 telephone exchanges out of 96 have also been made functional. More than 50,000 landline phones have also been operational now. The services will be restored in other areas in a calibrated manner. And briefing the media in Srinagar on Sunday, the Jammu and Kashmir government spokesperson Rohit Kansal said that the government will try to restore the landline communication services as soon as possible in the valley. He said the duration of the relaxation was also increased from 6 to 8 hours. He said the relaxation hours were increased keeping in view the response and the request by the traders, and that this process will continue in the days to come. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh, while expressing his thoughts on scrapping Article 370, said that after the revocation of the special status of Jammu and Kashmir, people should now pray for the integration of the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir with India in their lifetime.
जैसे कि सर्व समिति से सदन ने भी माना हुआ है, वो इतना ही है कि किस प्रकार पाक अधिकृत जम्मू कश्मीर को पाकिस्तान के गैर कानूनी कब्जे से मुक्त करा करके पुनः भारत करें। और हम सब आइए मिलकर के दुआ करें कि जिस प्रकार परमात्मा ने हमें अपने जीवन काल में ये दिन देखने का अवसर दिया, वो दिन देखने का भी अवसर दे।
Moving on now to news on the weather front. Heavy rains have lashed northern parts, leaving over 24 people dead and missing in the several other areas in Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Punjab on Sunday. Heavy rains have remained unabated in Himachal Pradesh, leaving at least 24 people dead and 9 others injured in the rain-related incidents in the state. And due to heavy rains, the district officials in the state have also ordered the closure of all the educational institutions in Shimla and Kullu today. The gates of the Pando and the Nathpa Jakri dams in Himachal Pradesh are being opened as the water level in Beas and Satluj rivers is very high. People have also been requested to stay away from rivers, rivulets and streams to avoid any untoward incident. With the unprecedented monsoon rainfall causing landslides, the National Highway 3 that connects Kullu and Manali is damaged and traffic has also been adversely affected. In Uttarakhand, at least 8 people have died and 10 others are missing in the flash floods following the cloudburst in the Mori block in Uttarkashi on Saturday night. Dozens of houses were damaged due to cloudburst. Water, electricity and communication facilities have also been badly hit. The NDRF, SDRF, the ITBP and the district administration are all engaged in the rescue operations. 2 persons have also been rescued and shifted to emergency wing at the Doon hospital. Meanwhile, schools are closed in 12 districts of the state following the weather alert. The Chief Minister Trivendra Singh Rawat has directed all the district magistrates to stay alert in view of the heavy rain prediction in the coming days. With the incessant rainfall continuing in the Himalayan range, the brunt of increased water level is laid on the plains. The water levels have been rising in Yamuna and the Ganga rivers in Prayagraj. Various other districts in the state are also suffering from increased water level. Heavy rains have also remained unabated in Haryana and Punjab, causing floods in some parts, while the authorities sounded a high alert in the 2 states. Floods have also been reported from areas like Roopnagar, Fatehgarh Sahib, Pathankot and Ropar in Punjab. NDRF and the SDRF have also been called in Jalandhar district to assist the administration from the rescue of the people from inundated villages along the Satluj river. In the national capital Delhi, the water level in Yamuna has also reached dangerous levels. The river was flowing at 203 meters and its water level is expected to rise further. People living in the low-lying areas are asked to vacate their places and shift to safer places. Moving on now to news from Supreme Court, which has granted 2 more weeks time to the CBI to complete the ongoing investigation in a road accident case in which the Unnao rape survivor and her lawyer have sustained critical injuries. A bench comprising Justices Deepak Gupta and Anirudh Bose extended the time for completing the probe after the CBI moved an application seeking 4 more weeks on the ground that the statements of the rape survivor and her lawyer have not been recorded so far. The bench has also directed the Uttar Pradesh government to pay 5 lakh rupees to the lawyer who is in a critical condition. And the Supreme Court has dismissed a plea filed by Tehelka magazine founder Tarun Tejpal seeking quashing of the charges framed against him in an alleged sexual assault case lodged by a former woman colleague. A bench headed by Justice Arun Mishra asked the Goa's lower court to complete the trial preferably within 6 months in the case against Tejpal. He is alleged to have sexually assaulted a former woman colleague inside the elevator of a 5-star hotel in Goa in 2013. Tejpal was arrested by the crime branch after his anticipatory bail plea was rejected by the court in November 2013. He's been out on bail since May 2014. Moving on now, the Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikanta Das has said that that growth is the highest priority, as he stated the resolution of the monetary policy at the FICCI IBA banking seminar in Mumbai.
The resolution of the Monetary Policy Committee, before announcing the rate reduction, etc., did very specifically mention that at this particular juncture, growth is a matter of highest priority. And I think this is something which the financial sector representatives, the banks and the leaders from the business community and everyone who is involved in policy making and all regulators are concerned with.
He also added that financial stability is important to sustain growth in the long run, and this stability will be affected by 4 major sectors such as credit, financial, external and payment systems.
Now, the headwinds to financial stability could emanate from various sectors of the economy, and there are 4 specific sectors which I would like to mention. 1, the credit markets; 2, the financial markets; 3, the external sector; and 4, the payment systems. It may also emanate from other sources as well, but I would confine myself to these 4 sectors.
Moving on now, the health condition of former Union Minister Arun Jaitley continues to be critical but remains stable. Arun Jaitley is admitted in the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, the AIIMS in New Delhi, since the 9th of this month after he had complained of breathlessness and restlessness. Several Union Ministers including Rajnath Singh, Dr. Harshvardhan, Smriti Irani and Jitendra Singh visited the AIIMS on Sunday to inquire about the health condition of the former Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. And with that, we're going in for a short break here, but there's more coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today stressed that India's growing market offers immense business opportunities. Addressing the India-Lithuania Business Forum, he added that bilateral trade between the two countries is below potential and efforts must be made to improve it. The Vice President also invited the business delegation from Lithuania to participate in the India-Europe Business Forum.
It is very impressive GDP growth of 3.5% in 2018, high standards of living and extremely favorable investment climate accorded to a place of distinction in Europe. It is therefore but natural that Indian investments have found its way into Lithuania. However, India-Lithuanian bilateral trade is around US $300 billion. Does not really reflect our true potential, this vast scope. There is a need to double our efforts and explore more and more areas of cooperation and engagement. Our economies have significant complementarities in which we can be leveraged for mutually beneficial cooperation.
Former Bihar Chief Minister Jagannath Mishra has passed away after prolonged illness. He was 82 years old. Jagannath Mishra was three-time Chief Minister of the state. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has expressed grief on his demise. The government has declared a 3-day state mourning in Bihar. The former Chief Minister will be cremated with state honors. At least 15 people were killed and 35 others injured after a container truck collided with a state transport bus in Maharashtra's Dhule district. The accident took place near Nimgol village on the Shahada-Dondaicha road around 10:30 last night when a container truck collided with a state transport bus coming from the opposite direction. Moving on now to international news, the Islamic State has claimed responsibility for a suicide attack on a wedding in Kabul which killed at least 63 people. The ISIS in a statement said that one of its fighters blew himself up at a large gathering in Kabul while others detonated a parked explosives-laden vehicle when the security forces arrived. The authorities said that the blast that took place in the city's west came as Washington and the Taliban are in the final stages of a deal to reduce the US military presence in Afghanistan. The Afghan government has postponed the celebrations to commemorate the 100th Independence Day of Afghanistan that was scheduled for today in the historic Dar-ul-Amam Palace. And India has also strongly condemned the horrific bombing at a wedding hall in Kabul in which over 60 people lost their lives. In a statement, the External Affairs Ministry said that the perpetrators of the heinous terror attack as well as those providing shelter to terrorists must be brought to justice expeditiously. The External Affairs Ministry in a statement said that India strongly condemns the horrific bombing in Kabul on Saturday at a wedding hall in which innocent lives were lost. US President Donald Trump has hailed progress in negotiations on the Afghanistan peace deal, saying that talks with both the Taliban and the Afghan government are going well. Talking to reporters in New Jersey, Donald Trump said that US would seek to get troop levels below 13,000 but leave very significant intelligence capabilities behind. Expectations are rising for a deal in which the US would start withdrawing its soldiers from Afghanistan after nearly 2 decades of war that has ground into a stalemate. Brexit Secretary Stephen Buckley signed a commencement order that will bring the UK out of the European Union on 31st of October in a landmark do-or-die pledge. Buckley later tweeted that he had signed a piece of legislation which set in stone the repeal of the 1972 European Committees Act, the laws that made Britain a member of the organisation now known as the European Union. Though this move was largely procedural, in line with the previously approved laws, Buckley said in a statement that this is a clear signal to the people of this country that there is no turning back from Brexit. The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson also tweeted the image saying, "The signing of the document means we will take back control of our laws on the Brexit day." The repeal of the Act will take effect when Britain formally leaves the European Union on 31st October, a historic step in returning lawmakers' powers from Brussels to the UK. The India Day parade from Parliament to City Hall was held in Ottawa, Canada today. There were about 250 people in the parade. A minister from provincial government also participated while Ottawa Mayor was there for flag hoisting of India at the City Hall. Hundreds of thousands of anti-government protesters returned to the streets of Hong Kong and rallied peacefully. Marking the calmest weekend protest, the protesters defied torrential rain, police ban and menacing threats from the Chinese government to come back out for the 11th consecutive weekend of mass demonstrations. The demonstrators moved towards the city's financial center, chanting for the Beijing-backed leader Carrie Lam to step down. Around 4,000 people were evacuated in Spain's Gran Canaria island due to wildfires that for the second time in a week ravaged by the countryside. The fire had taken 2 different directions, burning more than 1,700 hectares of field. More than 9 helicopters and 2 planes are aiding at least 600 people, including firefighters and the army emergency personnel who are working in the ships to tackle the blaze. The island is experiencing temperatures close to 40 degrees Celsius with humidity levels below 30%. An Alaska man's hunt for firewood ended with the discovery of a different kind after he came across a 50-year-old message in a bottle. The letter in the bottle was washed up on the shores of western Alaska and was written by a Russian Navy soldier while he was aboard a ship until 1970. Iceland unveiled a plaque to its Ojukol ice sheet, which is the Icelandic glacier, to lose its status as the glacier due to climate change. A ceremony to unveil the plaque was attended by scientists and locals at the glacier in the west central island, which in 2014 no longer fulfilled the criteria to be classified as a glacier after melting throughout the 20th century. And moving on now to sports news. In cricket, the second test between England and Australia ended in a draw at the Lords on Sunday. A dramatic day of cricket came to an end with Travis Head and Pat Cummins holding on for Australia on day 5 of the second day. Australia survived with 4 wickets in hand to go into the third test at Headingley, leading the series 1-0. For England, Archer and Leach were brilliant. This is the first draw at the Lords since June 2016. Earlier, England declared their innings on 258 for 5 after Ben Stokes slammed his 7th test ton. For Australia, the target was 267 in the remaining 48 overs. Stokes and Joss Butler put up an unbeaten 61-run stand in the morning session to help England take lunch on day 5 with a score of 157 for 4. After declaring the innings on 258 for 5, the 3 Lions came out all guns blazing to put Australia under immense pressure. However, somehow managed to survive and take their lead into the next match. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news. But before we go, a look at the headlines. Restrictions phased out gradually in Jammu and Kashmir. Primary schools reopen in Srinagar. The government says efforts are on to restore the landline communication fully. Heavy rains and landslides disrupt normal life in many parts of the country, including Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Punjab. At least 17 killed in Uttarakhand and 24 in Himachal Pradesh. Rescue and relief work on in full swing. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu addresses the India-Lithuania Business Forum, says India's growing market offers immense business opportunities and is the fastest growing major economy in the world. Supreme Court grants 2 more weeks to the CBI to complete the investigation into the road accident of the Unnao gang rape victim and his lawyer. Supreme Court also directs Uttar Pradesh government to pay 5 lakh rupees interim compensation to the lawyer for medical expenses. An Islamic State claims responsibility for the Kabul wedding suicide blast in which at least 63 people were killed and over 180 others injured. India strongly condemns the horrific bombing and calls for the perpetrators of the terror attack to be brought to justice expeditiously. That's it then in this newscast. Thanks for being with us.